You see them every day. You circle them, hunting for that one perfect spot. You park your car, maybe spill a little coffee on the asphalt, and then you walk away without a second thought. They are, let's be honest, the most boring, overlooked, and mundane landscapes in our modern world. Parking lots. Just endless seas of gray asphalt and white lines. But what if I told you that the parking lot you were just on is a gateway? A gateway to a lost world, forgotten history, and some truly mind-bending futuristic technology. Beneath the ordinary asphalt often lies a hidden dimension of our world. Today we're digging up those secrets. We're unearthing everything from the lost tomb of a king and the secret lair of a dictator to robotic garages that operate like something out of a science fiction film, all hidden just beneath the pavement. So what exactly is lurking just a few feet beneath your tires? We've compiled a list of the most incredible, shocking, and mind-bending things ever found under parking lots. Part 1. The King in the Car Park. Let's begin with a discovery so improbable, so unbelievably perfect, it sounds like the plot of a movie. A discovery that literally rewrote history books and proved a 500-year-old royal mystery could be solved in the last place anyone on Earth would think to look. We're going to Leicester, England, to find a lost king. Our story starts in the year 1485. King Richard III, one of England's most controversial monarchs, is charging into his final battle at Bosworth Field. He's fighting for his crown and his life. And he loses. He becomes the last English king to die in combat. His body is treated with contempt by his enemies, the Tudors, paraded, shamed, and then buried in a hurry, without ceremony, in a Leicester church run by monks known as the Grey Friars. For a few decades, people knew where he was. But then, history did what it does best. It moved on. The Tudor dynasty solidified its power. King Henry VIII broke with the Catholic Church and, in a wave of religious upheaval, ordered the monasteries to be torn down. The Grey Friars' church that held Richard's body was demolished, stone by stone. Its land was sold, built over, sold again, and repurposed for centuries. The tomb of the king was forgotten. His final resting place became a ghost story. Was he dug up and thrown in the river, as one legend claimed? Or was he still down there somewhere, lost to time? For over 500 years, that question went unanswered. The area that was once the holy ground of the Grey Friars Church became a tangle of backyards, workshops, and eventually, a city council parking lot. A bland, unremarkable slab of asphalt where council employees would park their cars every day. Now, not too far from this very spot, a dedicated group of amateur historians, led by a woman named Philippa Langley, refused to let the story die. They formed the Looking for Richard project, driven by an almost obsessive belief. They studied ancient maps, pieced together property records, and traced the faint outlines of the lost church. Their research pointed to one utterly absurd location, that bland city council parking lot. Imagine the scene. In 2012, these historians convince archaeologists from the University of Leicester to take a gamble. They get permission to dig. Not in a field, not in a historic ruin, but in a working car park. They cut a neat trench into the asphalt, peeling back the modern world layer by layer. The world's media thought it was a charming, but ultimately foolish, long shot. On the very first day of the dig, they hit something. Leg bones. Human remains. But people are buried everywhere, right? This could be anyone. They kept digging. The skeleton was in a hastily dug, awkwardly sized grave, suggesting a rush job. It was in the right area of where the church choir would have been, a place of honor where a king might be laid to rest. The excitement was electric, but the archaeologists remained cautious. Then they uncovered the spine, and it was dramatically curved. The skeleton had severe scoliosis. This was the moment everything changed. For centuries, William Shakespeare's portrayal of Richard III as a hunchbacked villain had defined his image. While hunchback was an exaggeration, historical accounts did mention Richard had a physical deformity. This skeleton had it. The spine was a perfect match for those descriptions. They kept examining the bones. The skull showed catastrophic injuries, Part of the back of the head had been sliced off by a blade, and another spike had been driven clean through. These were brutal battle wounds consistent with the death of a warrior king in combat. But the final undeniable proof came from the science lab. Archaeologists extracted DNA from the ancient bones. Meanwhile, researchers traced two living descendants of Richard III through his eldest sister, Anne of York. The samples were compared, and they matched. The mitochondrial DNA passed down through the maternal line was a perfect hit. It was him, King Richard III. After 527 years, the lost king had been found. He was lying almost exactly where Philippa Langley's research had predicted. And in an unbelievable twist of fate, his skeleton lay under a parking space that happened to be marked with a painted letter R. You just can't make this stuff up. The discovery shocked the world, a 1 in a million shot that paid off. It's a powerful reminder that history isn't just in museums. Sometimes, it's sleeping just inches beneath your feet, waiting in the most ordinary places imaginable. Part 2. The bunker of a buried evil. From a celebrated king finally given a proper resting place, we now turn to a story with a much darker tone. This time, the thing buried under the parking lot wasn't lost to history. It was deliberately hidden. We're going from a royal grave to the final hideout of a reviled dictator. We're going to Berlin, to the site of Adolf Hitler's Führerbunker. In the final, apocalyptic days of World War II, as Soviet artillery rained down on Berlin, Hitler and his inner circle retreated into a subterranean fortress. The Führerbunker was a concrete labyrinth built some 30 feet underground, designed to withstand almost any attack. It was here in this suffocating claustrophobic tomb that the final act of the Third Reich played out. And it was here, on April 30th, 1945, that Hitler committed suicide as the Red Army closed in. After the war, Berlin was a shattered city. The bunker, a hateful symbol, was in the Soviet sector. The Soviets tried to blow it up, but the main underground complex was an engineering monster, so heavily fortified that their demolition attempts largely failed. When the Berlin Wall went up, the site fell within the desolate, heavily guarded death strip. After the wall fell and Germany was reunified, the government faced a tough question. What do you do with the physical location of such immense evil? Turning it into a memorial was unthinkable. It would instantly become a shrine for neo-Nazis. Leaving it as a ruin would also attract the wrong kind of attention. So the decision was made not to memorialize, but to neutralize. In the 1990s, the German government authorized construction on the site. And on top of the area where the Führerbunker lies buried, they built residential apartment buildings and, yes, a deliberately mundane parking lot. For years, the site was completely unmarked. No plaque, no sign, nothing. It was the complete opposite of the Richard III discovery. That was a search for a lost story. This was a conscious effort to bury one. Eventually, in 2006, a small, simple information board was installed. Not to glorify, but to demystify. It provides a diagram of the bunker's layout and a factual timeline of events. Today, if you go to that spot in Berlin, you'll see cars parked and people coming and going from their homes. The parking lot serves as a final, sterile gravestone, a powerful statement about how a society chooses to deal with its darkest chapters. It's not about forgetting, it's about refusing to give evil a physical monument. The most effective way to rob the bunker of its power was to smother it with the most boring thing imaginable. Part 3. Echoes of Ancient Warriors. Not all parking lot discoveries are of single, famous individuals. Sometimes, a parking lot acts as a time capsule for an entire society. You might park your car to go grocery shopping and be sitting on top of an entire civilization. Let's head north to Scotland, where archaeologists have a running joke. If you want to find something ancient, just dig up a car park. They're not wrong. In one incredible case in the town of Dingwall, construction workers stumbled upon the remains of what's believed to have been a Viking parliament site from the 11th century. 1,000 years ago, powerful Viking chieftains stood on that very spot, debating laws and forging alliances. Today, a car is parked where a Viking longship might have once been beached. And Scotland's car parks weren't done giving up their secrets. In another discovery in Edinburgh, a team found the grave of a 13th century medieval knight. They uncovered an ornate, beautifully carved sandstone slab showing a family's coat of arms and a large broadsword, the symbol of a knight. Who was he? We may never know, but his tombstone was preserved for 800 years, waiting patiently under a layer of asphalt. But this isn't just an old world phenomenon. Let's jump across the Atlantic to Galveston, Texas. In the 19th century, Texas was briefly an independent republic with its own navy. One of its most powerful warships was a steam-powered paddle wheeler called the Zavala. After its service, the ship was damaged in a storm and abandoned in a Galveston channel in 1842. Over the decades, the city grew, the channel was filled in, and the spot where the Zavala rotted away was eventually paved over and became a parking lot. Fast forward to the 1980s, and excavators hit something massive. They had found the lost warship. An entire ship from the Texas Navy buried under a parking lot. These discoveries are profound. They show us that our world is built directly on top of countless other worlds, and sometimes all it takes is a construction project to peel back the pavement and let those old worlds breathe again. So far, we've been digging deep into the past. But the secrets under parking lots aren't just about history. Some of the wildest ones are about the future. The space beneath the asphalt isn't just a graveyard for the past, it's rapidly becoming a high-tech robotic wonderland. Part 4. The Robotic Valet and the Puzzle Palace. Imagine this. You drive into a city, pull into what looks like Asmal garage entrance, get out, tap a button and walk away. Then the magic happens. A robotic shuttle silently glides out, scoops up your vehicle, and whisks it away into a vast, hidden cavern of steel. This isn't a scene from Blade Runner. This is an automated parking system, or APS, and it's one of the most incredible secrets hidden under our cities. So why build these things? It all comes down to space. A traditional multi-story garage is incredibly inefficient. You need wide driving lanes, huge ramps, and space for people to open doors. Automated parking systems throw that entire design out. By using robots to park the cars, you eliminate the need for all that wasted space. Cars can be parked inches apart. You don't need wide lanes, just narrow corridors for the robotic shuttles. The result is a garage that can fit the same number of cars in up to 60% less space. These systems come in several mind-bending varieties. One is the puzzle parker, which works like a slide puzzle, rapidly shifting cars horizontally and vertically to clear a path and deliver your vehicle. Then there are tower parkers, which use a central elevator to lift cars and slot them into bays like a giant vending machine for automobiles. The most advanced are fully robotic systems where a flat, powerful drone on wheels drives under your car, lifts it by its tires, and zips it away into a massive dark grid. The whole process is managed by a central computer, orchestrating a silent, unseen ballet of machines. You can even summon your car from your smartphone. The benefits are huge. It's incredibly secure, better for the environment, and it allows cities to reclaim valuable land for parks or housing. It's a hidden revolution in urban design, happening right under our feet. Part 5. The Smart Garage, Guardian against floods and source of power. A garage that parks your car for you is already incredible. But the vision for these underground spaces goes even deeper. First, let's appreciate the sheer challenge of building underground. The number one enemy is water. For decades, the solution was better waterproofing and bigger pumps. Now, the solutions are getting smarter. Engineers are developing intelligent drainage systems that act more like a nervous system for the building. Instead of being passive, these systems could use a network of sensors to constantly monitor for water. If a leak is detected, the system could automatically activate countermeasures, rerouting water and keeping the garage perfectly dry without human intervention. But the most forward-thinking vision for these spaces goes beyond just parking cars. Some urban planners see these vast, climate-controlled caverns and see something else, a source of clean energy. Underground garages have a unique advantage. Their temperature is incredibly stable, insulated by the earth. This makes them perfect for things that need a stable climate, like data centers that require massive amounts of energy for cooling. Some startups are exploring how to turn these spaces into sources of geothermal energy. By installing special panels on the garage walls, they can capture the stable underground temperature to help heat buildings in the winter and cool them in the summer, dramatically cutting energy costs. These spaces could also house massive battery packs to store energy from solar and wind, helping to power the city above. This transforms the humble parking lot from a dead space into a dynamic, contributing part of a smart city. It's a showcase of ingenuity, turning the problem of where to put our cars into a solution for building the cities of the future. Today, we've peeled back the asphalt and stared into the hidden world beneath. We've traveled from the 500-year-old grave of a lost English king to the deliberately buried bunker of a dictator. We've found the ghosts of Viking parliaments and the skeletons of forgotten warships. And then we jumped to the future, witnessing the silent ballet of robotic valets and the smart garages that are becoming the foundation of our future cities. The humble parking lot, it turns out, is a time machine. It's a museum. It's a laboratory for the world of tomorrow. It's a testament to the layers of human activity, past, present, and future, that exist right on top of each other. So the next time you pull into a parking spot, just take a moment. Pause before you get out of the car. Think about what might be right under you. A lost world? A piece of forgotten history? Or a glimpse of a robotic future? The most ordinary places often hide the most extraordinary secrets. The only question is, what's hidden under your town? If you enjoyed digging up these secrets with us, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an expedition into the hidden corners of our world. And for another journey into the unseen infrastructure around us, check out our video on hidden underground cities you can actually visit. Let us know in the comments below if there are any local legends or hidden histories buried under your own towns. Thanks for watching.